Okay, sorry about that. My internet had a bit of a glitch there. One moment while I tried to sort things out again. ISP, I suspect. I did a reboot on the modem and the router, and it finally came back up. But every now and then the ISP manages to drop off. It is a lot, I have to admit, but it is, you have to remember, it isn't just the game. It's a game plus 4 expansions, which is why it is so much. You might try a smaller system. Do like an 8x8 with 700 stars or something like that. Most systems that I've read about online seem to be able to handle, as long as you don't go with the max max size system like I'm doing here. Yes, I understand 50 is a lot, and but again, it is the base game and 4 expansions, which is why it is as much as it is. It isn't a brand new game. This game's been around for a long time. Oh yeah, the ancient, yeah, the ancient galaxy. We were talking about this in one of my startup streams. If you want to start slow and get your feet wet, then you do what I did. Do a pre-warp where you're starting with just one colony and work out from there. If you want slight more immersion a little bit quicker, then you go with the classic Empire startup, where you start with 2 or 3 colonies, half a dozen mining bases, and a few military ships. And if you want your brain to melt, you take the same setup that I have, 15 by 15 with max number of races, max number of stars, and go into the ancient galaxy. You will, if you don't melt your computer, you will melt your brain in that setup. I did look at the ancient galaxy as a potential start for the stream, and I thought it was going to be too much. Yeah, I love the pre-warp start because you know what's going on from beginning to end. Classic start is not bad, especially for those that don't want to wait for, like I said, it took me, well, here it is, 34 years, and I still haven't built my first colony ship yet. The game could theoretically end in 16 years. I set a minimum time frame for victory conditions at 50 years. I don't think anybody's near. Yeah, nobody's even halfway there yet, but it theoretically could end at the 50-year mark. Here we are 34 years in, and we don't have a colony ship yet. I think that depends on how you play. I have to say it depends on how you play. Again, if you try for full control over everything, then yes, it probably does have a steeper learning curve than EU4. Maybe even overall it does. I'm trying to remember remind you, I started playing EU back in the EU2 days. So I've been along for the ride from the beginning with that. So EU4 wasn't a huge change for me. Maybe somebody starting EU4 scratch would have, it does certainly have a higher than standard learning curve than compared to other games. Let's go ahead and refuel if you can. You're out in the middle of nowhere. And certainly if you played this on full control or even Mo's control, it does have a huge... Yeah, I actually found out about the EU franchise when EU3 was nearing completion. So technically I didn't start out in the EU2 days, although that was my first Paradox title I got probably was EU2. I heard about EU3. EU2 was already out. It was on sale. I picked it up and it's like, oh, hey, I like this. And jumped into EU3 shortly after. So I never actually played a lot of EU2. Maybe 3 or 4 months of gameplay there before EU3 came out. Okay, so we now know where the Delaire conformity is. we're going to take a look, and we're going to do our first anti-pirate faction thing here. We're going to find our Corsairs that we're having so much fun with. Cruel Corsairs. And we're going to steal their territory map. It's got a lesser chance of success, but I'm going to take that chance at this point and see if we can find out. That they're certain to have at least one more spaceport out there, and they certainly have mining bases out there as well. We're going to try to find them. Okay. So we are now 22%, so we haven't gained too much in the tech. We're 66, almost 70% through our next ship size capability, so we'll be able to build maybe a decent cruiser here in the near future. Okay, we got a troop transport completed its mission. It only has 4 troops on board, so we got to wait till the rest of those troops are built. It's still building troops. Our attempted eradication of the cruel Corsair pirate faction on Shandar has failed. Yeah, we knew that was going to fail. Yeah, I'm sorry, my stream died in the middle of it. From the ISP drop-off. We had been in the middle of trying to conquer this, destroy one of the pirate faction bases here. We realized we don't quite have enough manpower on planet to do it, so we went ahead and we've got 16 troops being built at our other colonies. We're going to go ahead and recruit some here too, I think. We can assign a mercenary defense of that. We can assign a mercenary smuggler of that. We can recruit troops. And it's just Shandar infantry that we can do. We'll build 4 natively. We'll have 16 shipped in, and we'll see if 20 troops is enough to eradicate or destroy these bases here. Okay, our leader has increased their population growth skill level. Now, because it's a leader, this population growth skill level is global. So all of my population will benefit, but there's only the one planet that I can benefit from, and that's the one that I just invaded. We've got a freighter under attack. Wonder where that is. It's from pirates. It's way out there in the boonies. So we now have trade going between us, probably here and here. So our civilians, let's take a look at our civilians has expanded to 64 small, 50 medium, and 32 large. I think when we started the stream that was about half of that. So the fact that we now have, 1, a couple free trade agreements, 2, we've got a couple far-flung outposts here. We're starting to get some trade with some of these, and our merchants are obliging by making those trades. What is their income? They have a GDP of 13,000 or 13 million now. Cash flow of 300. They're paying us they're paying us 241,000 in taxes right now. Is that 24% toward interceptor, which will give us. Now we probably need to look at some additional research here. Let's take a look at our research capacity here. We have a research. Oh no, we're okay. We have a research capacity of 618,000, and we are well above that overall. Oh, wow! No wonder it took us so long for colonization. Our actual output of high tech dropped when we lost that high tech station. I forgot about that. We probably should have rebuilt that high tech station. And if we were doing anything critical right now. What are we doing? Yeah, we're doing some small things right now. Storage, coordinated control, which will reduce our fleet, our military, our not our construction, our maintenance. We haven't done proximity sensors yet, so we'll queue up proximity sensors and long-range scanners as well, so we can build our own monitoring stations and whatnot. Yeah, I haven't taken a look at what my hours are in game. I know just because I have two complete playthroughs, they should be on YouTube of about 40 hours each. I probably have 120 to 150 hours, maybe more, maybe as many as 300 hours in EU4. I wasn't streaming all of my games. CK2 is much less, maybe 100 hours or something like that, and maybe more. CK2's been out for a while actually, and I've played each expansion comes out. I dig back into it. Bunch of freighters under attack. Again, I'm not so worried about them. The thing about the freighters, one reason I don't worry about them. Uh-oh, what's going on here? No! No! Garn Supremacy is going to try to steal... Oh, that's not the Loros fruit. Never mind. There's the Loros fruit. Where's my construction ship that I sent out this way? What planet is this? Runedin Prime. Oh, okay. It's still out there somewhere. Oh, it's going up to probably refuel and grab some supplies, and then it'll head down here. We want that Loros fruit. That will be absolutely huge. Okay, the Akura Authority has declared war on the Actarian Authority, so we now have our second intergalactic war started. Let's take a really quick look. Let's just drop down through some of these and see what's going on. We see some protectorates and a lot of friendlies with the Piscinian nation. Probably friendlies because one of their racial victory conditions is to enslave and exterminate, so people are trying to make friends with them. Boscaran Hive has trade sanctions with somebody. They were at war with somebody. Is that actually... I can't tell. So for some reason we're getting announcements of the wars. Okay, there's the war. There's the Akura Authority. That's one that just popped up, at war with the Acturian Authority. So right now, and the reciprocal. So right now I guess it's just the one war going on. The other one must have ended right away. You can only destroy the hidden pirate bases. Empire races cannot control pirate facilities. Okay, we got our defense base up, so that'll help. We'll probably go with the small spaceport as well. I don't need a large spaceport. Let's take a look and see what the planet throughput is here. I forget. They have a single construction yard and 10 docking bays. So my freighters will unload and load at the planet itself, or if I have something in orbit, they will load and unload there. The big thing is I can only build one ship at a time here of any type, whether it's a base, a defense base, or whatever. So I generally go with some small spaceports as well. Maybe we'll wait a little bit until we get more control over this. Okay, we've got completed research and enhanced shields, so all of our shields just improved without having to do a refit. If you come up here to shields, enhanced shields are improvements to Corvidian shields, which is our base shield. And it goes from a strength of 100 and a recharge rate of 0.3 to a strength of 120 and a recharge rate of 0.4. So all of our shields just got a little bit more defensive. Okay, Fleet 1 is good, Fleet 2 is good. Okay, I'm going to send Fleet 1, which is my primary defense fleet, back to my home planet and just make sure that I keep a significant force there. We'll put them on defend the nearby systems. The Great Lipus Authority obtain maps that include our area of the galaxy. This means we can now contact them. There's another race in Empire in the game. That's number 25. Fleet Admiral is got a skilled navigator trait, and he's on the he's on the pirate capture fleet. So skilled navigator gives him hyper jump speed bonus. So all ships in the fleet will be a little bit faster. Well, I'm glad to hear that the playthrough has piqued the interest of some. I've been watching a couple. Of course, Larry Monty is a big YouTube. He's got a couple big YouTube series, which are very good watches if you've got the time to watch some YouTube videos. And there's another Twitch streamer that streams this in the evening as well. Well, he streams a variety of things. He'll be doing CK2 tonight, I think. I think I still have his page open. I'll throw his name your way. No, I don't have his page open. Let me open it real quick. Because he has a good series of this and Gameologist. His stream, Gameologist, has a really good stream, and he does a couple different things. He's doing a CK2. He does a multiplayer weekend multiplayer EU4, I think it was. He was doing this game as well. He's got a really good stream. Okay. We really want to, well, we want to complete our colony ship, obviously. We want to complete this research and weapons tech, the interceptor as well. Let's take a look down here real quick. Special locations. We know of the one right now. F12. That's up. That's not it. F12. Oh, that's the one we're actually working on. Let's see what our progress is here. Progress on the capital ship. He still has 200. So he's only completed 4 more components. It's going to take a long time to complete that capital ship. In the meantime, we're stealing all these other ships out from under him. We're down to 15 components left on the destroyer and 16 on the frigate. And that will leave another frigate with 13 components. After which we're going to come chase him out of this system. That'll be our next pirate faction that we tangle with. We cannot let him have that planet buster. Scenic locations. Did we finish our scenery base here? Maybe? Oh. Hey, our friends locally are tangling with the fierce mining and they're destroying attacking bases up there. That's good for us. That's a gas mining station. Where's our resort base? Is it not... here it is. We have a resort base up here. And we get the Teekans coming up to do something. Our resort base has no passengers at the moment. We've, I think, just completed that base probably. So we'll start seeing some resort base income from that fleet. From that, oh, I wonder if the Teekans are coming to do some ship repair or if they're putting their own resort base down. I think you can have multiple resort bases. You can't have multiple mining bases. I know that. We'll see what they do here in a minute. I'm curious as to, or maybe they didn't realize we'd already built one, and let's see what they do. Unknown mission. So because I just did an autosave at the stream crash, we'll go through probably the next autosave of this, which will be about 40 minutes away or so. Then I'm off to work for the day. I will be back, and I've got all day Wednesday to stream, so I'll certainly be doing some more of this, and I might pick up something else. I might dive into CK2 or EU4. I think the EU4, yeah, he was going to build a base there. He can't because I'm already there. I don't know what type of base he was building, but he can't build it. Caridia Armaments Installation. We have discovered the Caridia Armaments Installation, ancient ruins from a lost civilization of the ice planet Ferris 7 in the Ferris system. Should we investigate? Heck yes. Unique bonus to any empire that colonizes this planet. Empire-wide research weapons research bonus of 50%. Oh my. Oops. Where was it? It's an ice planet, so we can't colonize ice planets yet. It's not in anybody else's zone of control quite yet. I wonder if there are any races in game yet that are ice planet type beings. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, Wednesday is usually an all-day type thing for me, whenever I get up to whenever I quit, but I'll probably do multiple streams. Certainly come back and do some more of this series, and I don't think Wealth of Nations is released until later on in the week, so it probably won't be an EU4 stream. I'll probably do a little bit of my Path of Exile. For those that are into Diablo type games, Path of Exile is another one that I'm quite like quite a bit. So I might do a little bit of that, and we'll see. We'll see what mood takes me, or maybe I'll go by do some requests. Okay, so we got just a little bit of a lull here. Let's take a look and see how our construction ships are going. They're built at the colonies, not Shandar. Okay, 80% through, and that one hasn't started. Did I miss a colony ship being completed? Whoa, let's back up here. There's the defense base completed. Colony defense against invasion. That was the pirates. Ship completed. Troop transports. Okay, somehow. Okay, let's use our hotkeys here. Exploration, 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 exploration. And what I'm doing is using the X key cycles between the ships of the exploration and colony type. There's one, 7 unbuilt. Somehow I only built the one colony ship. Yes, absolutely free. And I've been playing Path of Exile since August 2011, way back in early beta. And I get a little bit of time in that each week. I actually put together a Twitch stream guild there, although most of them have fallen off. Most of my regular viewers that had been in it, I haven't seen online in PoE for a while. They want us to pay Murderous Claw the Pillagers wants us to pay protection. It's cheap protection, but they have 100 ships, 6,000 firepower. Maybe I will pay that protection. Once I get carriers, I'm going to start dropping some of these protection agreements off, especially for those that are further away. So for somehow I managed not to build a second colony ship. I don't know how that happened. Let's go back in here and order up a colony ship. Okay, so we'll start that one. So that's our second colony ship finally being started. I have no idea how I missed it the first time around. I think I was probably just explaining how the interface worked and just missed it. Yeah. Now the funny thing is I've got the racial mod pack downloaded, which included 40 races in this game. Yeah, my nearest neighbor was Shandar. There's a bunch of Shandar in some of the near systems. There was at least one other Empire race of Shandar. I'm sure I switched the theme. I'm going to have to go take a look at the stock races and then take a look at the empires that are actually in game and make sure that I actually have that racial mod pack in. If not, that'll certainly be added in my next playthrough, whatever that happens to be. I'm thinking of doing a pirate faction playthrough. That's one thing that wasn't even mentioned. You can actually play as one of the pirate factions for those that are interested in that, for a different type of challenge. Our agent was detected after failing to steal the territory map of the Cruel Corsairs. Well, we knew it was going to be a dangerous job, but he wasn't killed at least or captured, so we'll send him off somewhere else. Workshop is not available yet. The developers of the game are working with Steam to determine what needs to be done to get them hosted on Workshop. Modding itself, I've never done much modding, but I have taken a look at how the modding goes. It seems to be fairly easy to do. If you're capable of modding any of the other games that you might play, then yeah, modding is not difficult, and they're easy to install. If you go to matrixgames.com, there's a ton of mods already out there on that site, on their forums. And eventually, again, we hope to see the interface between Steam Workshop and the game to work. Yeah, Mostly text-based, obviously some graphics, but those are easy to do if you have any kind of graphics design skill. They're all, PNGs or whatever. They're limited to, racial pictures, ship pictures, planet pictures, etc. Okay, we need to find out who else we need to know about here. Where do you live, Picari Enclave? That's what we shall find out now. Or in a year's time, anyway. Okay, I think after this particular agent is done with his mission, we're actually going to take a look at some other espionage type targets. And maybe look at potentially taking some tech or doing some... we're not really too unhappy with any of the neighboring races. However, these guys up here was potentially my first target for expansion into another cluster here. So we will take a look and see what we can find about. We can see the Fierce Mining Corporation has a ton of mining ships out there. We did that from one of their... I'm not sure how we got their territory map, to be honest. Those might just be our exploration ships going out and finding them. We found a new empire, new pirate empire. Okay, no big deal. And a new ruins, the Granite City. Ruins perched on the top of precipice overlooking a vast domain. Investigate, and nothing of interest. Again, it's probably, if I were to guess, it's a starting system for somebody. Kind of looks that way. So they started with 2 ruins in their system just like we did. And that's how they get their initial warp. So we're going to find a lot of those as we hit capital systems with our exploration ships. Okay, our colony ship first colony ship should be nearing completion. They're going to offer contact with yet another empire. This one is the Your Sovereignty. A insectoid race of the Your division with 2 colonies. Let's take a really quick look at the victory condition screens and take a look. Okay, achievements, we've got peace through war, 0% of time at war, eliminate enemy empires, that's 1, and that would have to be the empire that voluntarily joined us, actually, I do believe, and the veteran of the Galactic War, destroy 50 ships or bases. Okay, population-wise, we still have the lead here, about 20% above our next competitor at 336 billion people. Territory, yeah, we're, oh my god, look at that, 11 colonies. We have 3. But I wonder how many of those were invasions, how many were colonization. There's no way to tell. Our economy has dropped down to, other than the Ancient Guardians, which obviously is not a big thing, 4th place. Strategic value. We've still got a great strategic value, which is good. Strategic value affects GDP of your civilians, which obviously, and I think happiness as well. Development, colony development level as well. Military strength. Well, we've dropped a little bit, and that's fine. We're kind of holding off until we get our carriers to build a lot more in the way of ships. And once we start getting these colony ships out, obviously that will help as well. Let's take a look at our troop transport ships. See if they've finished loading yet, or see if they can load more yet. Could investigate yield any? Yes. When you're investigating things, you can do things like find out that what you're investigating is actually a pirate trap, and it'll spring a host of pirates on you. When you're investigating like ruined ships, they could be booby traps and they could explode and damage or destroy your investigating ship. They could release space monsters, which we haven't seen a lot of in this game. I did set it to few, but I expected to see more than we have. That's the one thing that I did change in this game, is I changed it from normal to few. A data core gives us directions to the system in G3. Doesn't say what is there. G3 is way up here. We've already seen that coordinate, I do believe. Way out of our way. We're not going to be up there anytime soon. And there are some storyline events as well that can trigger that are considered negative, which can cause problems. Both positive and negative storyline events. Okay, where's our colony? Oh, there it is. All components normal. So our first colony ship has been built. Oh, one thing I did not do on our colony ships. That's a problem. We need to go into the design of the colony ships. Yes, you can. In fact, some races, their victory conditions are just that. Spend the fewest time at war, destroy the fewest ships, etc., and relying on your allies. And I can't say with any certainty how good that type is as far as relying on your allies. I generally, when I do that play style, and this is a semi that type of play style, I'm trying more to assimilate the various cultures rather than other than the pirates. Now I will be heavily involved in anti-piracy, but as far as anti-empire, I'm trying to minimize that as much as possible. And that's not a racial thing. That's just my play style for this game. We'll have to see how things go when things start expanding more, whether that is viable or not with my race. I don't know. Yeah, Return of the Shaktari is one of the storylines that can be triggered, will be triggered by the investigation of some of these ruins. But I found out I made a mistake with my colony ship design, so I need to go in there real quick, manually upgrade. We don't have anywhere near enough fuel on board. Oops. I don't need to have a huge range, but certainly, because they're one-way ships, 3 sectors is good. Actually, no, you know what, a sector, 1.8 sectors. Since I have a colonization limit of 1.5 sectors, 1.8 sectors is good for this. And to do that, we will pull off a... How far over the limit are we for 6 points probably? So we will pull off... one thruster. In the meantime, let's see if this colony ship can get to... Can't colonize that. Oh, it's foreign territory. That's right. Their dang pirates control that system now, don't they? There was a volcanic in here. No, foreign territory. Yeah, so we cannot colonize that planet without actually kicking that pirate faction out. Where else are our colonial locations? That's foreign territory. Looks like we have to retrofit that ship before we can use it. Okay, let's do that. Oh, you can't retrofit colony ships, maybe? Oh, that'll be a pain. Or is something else happening at this construction yard? No, nothing's happening at that construction yard. Where's my construction ship? Colony ship, I mean. Okay, yeah, you can retrofit. Okay, let's go ahead and do a quick retrofit on that. I made a mistake when... that's where, yeah, when you're doing the designs, you can get into areas where that is a problem. So the nearest colony I can actually colonize, other than the one that's already under control here, well, you know what? It isn't under control here, is it? You know what? We're going to grab this second planet here before they do take control of it. They don't have any facilities there yet. So we're going to grab that planet. They're not going to do anything to us. They're landing troops there. They're trying to take control of that planet, but they're not being successful. Oh. So as soon as that colony ship retrofits, we will... Okay, we are fully loaded. Our troop transports are fully loaded. Let's land them, unload those troops at the colony that we're trying to destroy bases on. We'll move them down there. That's the Trinity 2. Trinity 3 is fully loaded. We'll do the same thing there. Now our income is starting to deplete a little bit. All those troops that we have got us with a cash flow down to 14,000, it looks like. So we'll take all the monetary gifts we can get. They're really trying to be friends with me. They must have had somebody on my staff let them know that they're our first potential empire target if we were to expand militaristically. Yes, Sol System. I think I found Sol System in my game too. And the one thing I'm not sure about is there a way to find a system? I'm not sure if there's a way to actually find a system or not. I forget. I seem to think there is. But I'm pretty sure I found Sol System myself. And it wasn't all that far away, if I remember correctly. I might be thinking my previous game, too. Another pirate empire, so that puts us up over 20 pirate factions now. I haven't seen any of the Corsairs ships fly recently, so we have certainly put a damper on their capabilities. What do they have for capabilities right now? Cruel Corsairs. They're down to 2 ships and 183 firepower. I suspect they have no bases, no spaceports left, because they only have 2 ships. So I suspect they have no spaceports left to build ships with. So all they have left is what the planets. Our ambassador acquired the sober trait, which gives them a diplomacy bonus. That's always good for an ambassador. It can appear to be complex. It certainly is the way that I am playing it. Again, as we've mentioned, we talked about before, you can turn over a lot of the game to the AI. Turned into that will happen. That will happen a lot, especially in the early game. All of the independents that you find are potentially fledgling empires, because you started the pre-warp as well. They're in the same situation as you are, and there's no way to tell early on whether or not they are an empire or an independent, really. And if you have allow independents to turn into empires checked at the game setup, then that's how I have more than 19 empires in my game. I'm up to 25 empires in my game, even though there were 19 empires selected at game setup. Anyway, you can turn over as much or a little of the game over to AI control as you want. And for beginners, that's always a good idea. Set it up to where you're just controlling the colonization and exploration portion of the game and let the AI manage everything else. Or you just control the military and diplomacy and let the AI handle everything else. You can, or do what one of the play styles is put it on fully automate. Rule in my absence is one of the options, and just watch it. And then maybe turn one thing off and control that one thing. You can even go so far as to play one ship captain. Select a ship, turn everything to AI control, select one ship, and just follow it around or control that one ship. Oops, where was it? I missed it. Darn it. Doesn't help to, I guess it was this one over here. Doesn't help to accept a pirate colony location if you don't actually look and see where the colony is. Okay, what are you doing? Let's take a look at our construction ships. We built a, looks like we built a mining station there with, okay, that was our gold miner. Where is the one that is going? Colony has, colony governor just became corrupt. Wonderful. That gives him a -10 corruption reduction, -10 trade income, -10 tourism income. Thank you. I needed that. Yes. Empire building is fun. Space 4X is fun. Space 4X empire building is ultimate fun. Okay, that's this guy here, the illusion. Pride. Where are you? You're still headed out there? My gosh. I thought you'd be out there already. So he's going up there to pick up resources so he can come down here and build the mining station for the Loros fruit. Yeah, in the early stages that is going to be the case. Especially if you did what I did and dropped my tax rate initially to get that initial population boost. Okay, so troop transports, have they dropped? They haven't dropped their troops. Where's unload troops here? Maybe it's click, unload troops, there we go. Okay, anyway, this construction ship has finished its mission. I don't think I'm going to build anything else here, am I? Is that Aculon? Maybe I will if that is. That's steel and that is iridium though. Sure, why not? We'll build a we'll get that construction ship busy building something there. Territory map swap offered. Is our colony ship out of 15 unbuilt? Okay, there we've got our slight range boost here. So let's take a look at a couple potential colony locations here now. Now remember, the Shandar had been fighting these guys, so I wonder if they managed to they got it down to just a single hidden pirate base. What is this planet? Size of 18, quality of 71 with Necrostone and Aculon. So that's one option. Ah, Trade Bazaar, nice. Oh, you're well far ahead of where I am then. This one, look at the swarm over this planet as they desperately try to take this planet over. That one's size 30 and a quality 60. That's, yeah, size quality 66. So that's even less of a quality. Bigger size, less quality, however. Well, I don't think we ever colonized our home, the systems in our home planet, but I have colony ships being built there for that purpose. And we can't colonize up there, so I guess we're kind of limited. Two options. I guess we'll take this one. And I'm going to assign a fleet to escort this colony ship as well. I don't want to build a new colony ship. I want to use an existing one. And we will take Fleet 2 and escort that ship. Because I certainly don't want to get it in system and then have it attacked. Escort the risky wayfarer. Yep. So they will escort that colony ship, which will go down there. And we will plop down our first colony using a colony ship. We certainly don't need the defensive fleet here anymore. This system is well under control. Where's our second transport here? Let's click unload troops there. I guess I should keep planetary control of it, though, if I'm going to try to break out that. Oh, we got a construction ship of the Quantum Force with no mission. Do I want to mess with them and capture that ship since it's just sitting there? Let's see how bad they are, how strong they are. 37 ships. They're not that strong. If by the time I'm done capturing this or destroying this hidden pirate base, they are still present, I'm going to try to capture that construction ship. Well, that's good to hear. Like I said, lots and lots of fun for me for years. And it's even more fun actually talking about the strategies with people and streaming it and having the interaction. Unfortunately, it is single player. With any luck, Distant Worlds 2, which is under development, might pick up a multiplayer component. We're holding crossing our fingers and holding our breath and all that stuff. The sheer volume of information that has to cross the net with some of these in some of the late game setups makes me really doubt that they're going to manage it. But hey, we can hope. So you can see our trade routes starting. You can see some of the other trade routes out there. Okay, we have evaded detection after stealing the territory map of the Picari Enclave. So we now know where they are. We're going to pause this here because we're going to do a different type of intelligence mission for once, I think. Let's see where they are first of all. They're one of the yellow, and they're on Picari. Of course they're on Picari Prime, up here in the corner. Okay, so let's take a look at potential espionage. Oh, he picked up an espionage bonus finally. He's had nothing but concealment for the longest time. He now has espionage capability. Hallelujah. Okay, let's take a look. I'm not sure who we're going to target yet. Someone somewhat distant, and these guys here, they would be a good one. These guys are highly well, let's take a look. They've actually dropped off of the top of the victory condition list. They're a very hostile race. These guys here, they've got a high population. They probably have a high territory. They're invaders. They're hostile. Makes me think that if I'm going to do some intelligence missions, I want to target them. So we'll go back here to our intelligence agent, and we will select that, and we'll see if there's any research we can steal. So, yes, there is some. Hyper jump inhibiting, improved assault would be good. Long range phaser would be good. Oh, I don't know. What do we do? What do we do? I'm not worried about energy torpedoes at this point. Either enhanced target tracking, hyper jump inhibiting, improved assault. Well, we're not going to be doing nearly as much assault. Long range phaser is in our tree of I do continental colonization, but it wouldn't get us a heck of a lot. Let's see, 92% chance of success. I wonder if that changes. It does change based on what we're trying to do. Maybe based on how far advanced in the tree it is. Being able to colonize another planet type would be useful. Especially since everybody down here is doing volcanics. Wouldn't help me toward my victory conditions any though. Let's go with we've already got proc sensors almost a third of the way through. We could complete it. Let's go with hyperjump inhibiting. That will allow us to put a component on our ship which will prevent enemy ships from escaping. Let's give that a try. And I'm going to go with a slightly more risky 3-month. And we'll see what happens. They're far enough away that I'm not worried about them retaliating. Uh, 60% through our target for 5,000 credits from our friends here to our west. Now, as my influence grows and my culture grows here, once my culture crosses a certain threshold compared to theirs, I might be able to assimilate them into our galaxy. And you can see we're pushing borders right now. With me holding multiple planets in this area here, as these new planets grow, I'll have a good chance at getting a culture boost here, which will push me over the threshold and hopefully assimilate them, and they'll just willingly join me. Construction ship requires refueling. That's the one that just hit our port out there and is going to eventually come down and build my... oh, shoot. Somebody built out there. Darn you. He took my Loros fruit. We might have a conflict brewing to our east. They've got the Loros fruit, and if they refuse to trade with us, we might have a conflict on our hands. Another monetary gift. Thank you. I could maybe sabotage their facilities here. Maybe that'll be our next espionage mission over there, is sabotage their base and or bases over here, because we cannot get that Loros fruit now. And let's see how they no, I don't even know what is that the Caclalium Major Consortium. Okay, we've got another destroyer complete up here. Construction ship can go ahead and finish that last one. I think this destroyer, it's got a firepower of... Now let's go to refuel it. Firepower of 190. I think we'll take one of the frigates and disassemble it, and then maybe disassemble a second frigate. Let's take a quick look. It's probably got the same base design as everything else that we've repaired in this area. Hyperfusion, Meridian, Phaser Lance, yeah, Ultra Dense. Yeah, it certainly does have... It's got a repair bot. I don't remember that being on the other ones. It might have been and I just missed it. So we're going to put you in the pirate capture fleet as well. Got that construction over to repair the last one. In the meantime, this frigate is down to 2 components undamaged. What we'll do is we'll disassemble that frigate as our first of the tech captures off of that fleet of ships that we found up there. And I assume they're still down to like 220 components or more on this capital ship still. 237. They've only repaired 3 components in all that time. It is, and really, if you want to take a look at my YouTube stream. I've got the earliest gameplay up there, which does a lot of explanation of all of the game screens and early whatnot. Okay, we stole information on a hyperjump. Let's take a look. It's got a lot of description of my earlier gameplay, and we talk a lot about, and you'll hear me repeating a lot of the game screens and strategies and whatnot, and game styles and everything else. It is, especially if you jump in 5 hours in the middle of a stream, it's certainly going to get confusing. I'm certainly here to answer questions. Okay, so we've got about 30%, 35% of that done by stealing the tech from him. I would suggest taking a look at, if not mine, go to Larry Bonte's YouTube channel, where he's run 2 long-term playthroughs. One was 51 episodes in length. And then he's also running a universe episode, which he just started. He's got about 10 up. I've got about 10 episodes up, 10 hours worth of gameplay up myself. And you can actually see from start to finish. Okay, we have our first colony planted from a colony ship. And that might erase some of the confusion. And like I said, certainly the way you can customize the AI could certainly change things as well. So we planted our first colony ship down here. And these guys didn't immediately turn on me, so that's a good thing. Let's see if it changes their overall. Now, they're still cautious with us. We're still paying them $478 a month. They still have 200 ships and 10,000 firepower. My God, that is huge for a pirate. Of course, they are also a colonial pirate empire now because they did manage to get full control of a planet. So that is something to be concerned about, but not much I can do about quite yet. So we're immediately going to build a defense base here. I don't think they start with much in the way of cargo. There's our save point. You know what? I'm going to go one more hour. It's 3:30 now. I'm going to go one more hour, and then I'm going to head off into work. Nice thing about being retired and doing what I do to supplement my income, I make my own hours. And I'm not going to skip work Saturday. Too much going on Saturday. Certainly, I'll be back with this. As I mentioned, I'll be back with this playthrough again tomorrow. At least 3 or 4 hours of this, and then I might do 2 or 3 hours of something else. You can see on the galactic map how the empires are starting to shape out. I'm certain that some of the empires we know about but don't know location to are in these outer sectors here. We just don't have enough information to find them yet. So we now have our 4th colony. Our 5th colony ship is being built. But we are running out of spots to actually colonize at this point. Well, no, we have 2 planets in our own system to colonize, if I remember correctly. So we've got a couple more to build.